Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back from the long break. Thank you. Just before the break, we had a question from Sipho. Sipho was asking us, how did I get the cumulative frequency? Remember we said for the cumulative frequency, what did we do? We tallied how many rugby players had masses between 60 and 70, and we found that it was 5 rugby players. Ne? How many rugby players had the masses between 70 and 80? We found it was 7 people. How many rugby players had a weight between 80 and 90? We found it was again 7. Now, we said cumulative. It's what you accumulate from the beginning to the end at that time. On the first row, we find the cumulative frequency from 60 to 70. The cumulative frequency from 60 to 70 is 5. There are only 5 players at that moment. But when we move from 60 kgs to 80 kgs, how many players are there? From 60 kgs to 70 kgs. You can say, okay, it will be that 5 which is there and this 7 which is here, which all together gives us 12. Or you can even count them physically and say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the values that we have, okay? And you'll find that it's 12. But cumulative now, you must add. You can't just say it's 7. 7 is up to here. But from 60 to 80, we actually have this all together, which gives us the 12, which is the 7 plus 5, which is the 7 plus 5, okay? And then from 60 to 90, how many do we have? We have 19. How do you get 19? We are going to say from 60 to 70, we have how many? We have 5. From 70 to 80, we have 7. From 80 to 90, we have another 7. Now 7 plus 7 is 14, plus that it gives you the 19. Can you see? Now, and then we say, here we said it's 24, between 60 and 100. Now, here it's going to be 5 plus this 5, from 60 to 70, 70 to 80, it's 7, plus 80 to 90, another 7, plus 90 to 100, which is 4. All together now, we have 7 and 4, which is 11. 11 and 7, which is 18. 18 and 5, which is 23. And then, between 100 and 110, there is 2. 23 plus 2 is 25. So what is important is that frequency is actually how many at that point. How many at that, specifically at this one. Only looking at this interval, we have 2. But from, if we're talking cumulative, what we have acquired over a period, over 60, moving down up to 110. What we have altogether here is 25. I hope it answers your question. It may have been a little bit slow or a little bit quick for some of you. But if you have pocketed the marks that we have dealt with today, we have dealt with the 15 marks so far. We'll finish again so that we can finish the whole 25 marks. So we have dealt with 15 of the 25 marks. If you can pocket this and know you know it, and to make sure when you write correctly. I said when you draw the box and whisker, you can use your script or you can use the diagram sheet that is given to you. The first thing, that most important thing is that once you use your diagram sheet, make sure your exam number is written on that diagram sheet. Make sure that diagram sheet is stapled onto your booklet. When you get your booklet, ask the teacher that is teaching you, I want you to have a look at me. Have a look at me now on my face. Now that you have, this is your booklet. If this is your script, this is your booklet with all the pages. Take your formula sheet that is from the inside of the question paper. Take your formula sheet, open your booklet. On the first page, take a stapler and staple your diagram sheet there and write your name and put it. As you are continuing with your exam, your diagram sheet is on that first page. It's stapled there. It won't get lost and you won't forget it and take it home. So please don't forget that we need a stapler when we are writing mathematics. Remind your teacher that is standing there with you now that you need a stapler when you're writing mathematics, because we all need to staple our diagram sheets. We need to staple them into our scripts. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. I'm hoping to see you in the next timetable slot. Please have a look at your timetable so that you can see what is the next topic. We are writing your first paper on the 1st of November. Good luck, boys and girls, as you practice. Remember, the important thing is to get those marks from the easy questions, so that as you think harder and work harder for the most difficult questions, you have accumulated marks on these ones. Good luck. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you very much. Some responses from learners from a school. Where is the school? Is it the school in Lady Brand? In Unicomb. Bethlehem. I'm sorry to be too fast, my kids. Oh, learners from Bethlehem are saying I'm too fast. I'm sorry. When I was explaining the box and whisker, they said I was too fast. I was saying, when it comes to the box and whisker, I'm going to go there because it's important marks. When it comes to the box and whisker, I said to you, arrange the values in increasing order. I said, identify your maximum and your minimum value as you do that. What is your maximum and what is your minimum value when you do that? And then you must divide your data into 4 quarters. Divide your data into 4 quarters. Then you must draw a number line. You see, there's always a number line. Look at that number line there. There is always a number line. And then you must label your box and whisker. Now, and then I said, when it comes to the, I don't know if maybe this is what was fine. I said box and whisker is for the 5 number summary. 5 number summary because it's the minimum, maximum, Q1, Q2, and Q3. And I said, check where your median is. If your median is more to the side, the bigger part of the box is on your right, it means it's skewed to the right. Bigger part of your box is on the left, it's skewed to the left. If the both sides of your box are equal, then your median is, your data is evenly distributed. The value of the median. If the median is more, if the median is big, it means yes, the class has performed better. If the median is big, it means you've got better values. If your median is low, it means it's got lower values. Okay, and then
in terms of class performance, don't we say the higher the median, the better the performance, and also the lower the Unicomb High, the better?
Unicomb High asked us about the lower the interquartile and the interquartile and about the better, the higher the median, the better the performance. The higher the median, the better the performance, and the interquartile range. If you look at this class, how many learners? Is it more learners on the right of the median, or is it less? Is it more learners on the right, or is it less? Which one has got more? If you look, the median here is less, but even if you take the median as 60, which one has got more learners on that? the more learners that are performing, there are more learners are performing on here. But yes, if you look at this only without looking, you'll say, okay, their average is there or their average is low. But we have more learners performing on this high side then. But the median, it is low. You can see that the median then, it is lower than this one. In terms of the box and whisker, we must also not forget, you must not only draw the box. Don't only draw the box, learners in Bethlehem. You must put your minimum and your maximum, and you join them with the tails. We call this the tails. This is the box, and this is the whisker. It's the whiskers, like the cat's whiskers. You know the cat's hair on the mouth? Those are called whiskers. So these are the whiskers. This is our box. Okay? So it's very important. That's why I said have a pole of the maximum, have a pole of the minimum, and have poles of your quartiles together with your median, because your median is your quartile too. I hope that has answered your question. Welcome Bethlehem. At least we had questions for Bethlehem. I'm hoping we're going to have more questions from Lady Brand area and from Botterville area also. More learners. I haven't had anyone in Kronstadt areas and Sasolburg, but next time we'll have more learners from that side. Ne? Thank you, boys and girls.